This man smashed the bison bones with force, dug out the marrow inside, hurriedly stuffed it into his mouth. He was starving. This was the only food he could get. Then he crawled with difficulty to the riverbank, filled his kettle with water, tilted his head back to drink eagerly. Water flowed out from the wound on his neck. To survive, the man had to take a big risk to treat his wound. So he applied gunpowder to the wound, then grabbed a handful of dry grass, sprinkled the remaining gunpowder on top, creating the conditions to start a fire quickly. As white smoke slowly rose, the man smiled with excitement. But the real challenge had just begun. He took a deep breath and slowly aimed the burning stick at the wound on his neck. In an instant, the intense pain knocked him out. When he woke up, the wound no longer leaked water. But there was no time to celebrate. Soon he heard horses approaching. He became alert at once, hid behind a rock wall, and watched carefully. Just as he guessed, his enemies had caught up to him. He was too weak to fight. There was no choice. He forced his body to move, quickly backed away from the water, and withdrew. Then curled up behind a rock, not daring to make a sound. But he was still found. The man went crazy and swam into the river, trying to escape the enemy's encirclement. But it was too late. He had to dive underwater to hide from their sight. But the river was much colder than he expected. He quickly lost control, was swept away by the rapid current. At that critical moment, the man luckily grabbed a floating log. Just like that, he made it safely back to shore. But the danger wasn't over. The cold and hunger could still take his life at any moment. What was even worse, he pulled open his clothes, found the wound on his shoulder had festered. It seemed everything was heading for the worst, yet the man still refused to be defeated. He lit a fire, warming himself and drying his clothes. Then, leaning on a stick, he slowly moved to the river to catch fish. Now he desperately needed energy. After catching a fish, he couldn't wait to cook it and started biting into it right away. At the same time, a meteor streaked across the sky. The man firmly believed this was a sign from the heavens, so he quickly packed up his remaining belongings, climbed over mountains and crossed valleys to keep going until he ran out of energy and collapsed in the snow. When he opened his eyes again, he was shocked to see there was really someone there, and that person even threw him a piece of fresh meat. It was a friendly gesture. He immediately started biting into it. The man's bold actions accidentally earned the other person's trust, who agreed to help him safely leave this wilderness.